On the red dirt of Flagstaff, Arizona, a dream was born. But today, that dream has become a legal battlefield. Imagine losing the very soil you sacrificed your family for. Not to an enemy, but to the man who stepped into the life you walked away from. Rumors are swirling, and the public records are beginning to tell a story Kody Brown never saw coming. David Woolley, Christine's new husband, has reportedly made a move that changes the power dynamic of the Brown family forever. $1 million gesture. A gift for Janelle. And for Kody, the final eviction from his own empire. Stick with us, because, in 30 minutes, we're going to break down the specific land deed filing that suggests Kody's name might be officially scrubbed from the dirt of Coyote Pass. To understand the present, we have to look at the math. For years, Sister Wives fans watched as Kody shuffled money between the big house, dream and individual plots. Historically, the land was divided into parcels. Janelle, the family's resident, numbers person, put her own inheritance and sweat equity into this land. But as the marriages crumbled, Kody clung to the property like a lifeline. Legal experts suggest that the tenants in common structure of the Coyote Pass deeds was a ticking time bomb. If one party wants out, or if a third party buys out a distressed share, the whole deck of cards collapses. Community Voice Reddit quote, Janelle was the only one who actually wanted to live on the land. Kody using it as a pawn is the ultimate betrayal. Enter David Woolley, a successful construction business owner with the capital Kody lacks. While Kody spent years talking about building, David spent decades actually doing it. When David married Christine, he didn't just join a family, he joined a legal entanglement. Sources close to the family suggest David was appalled by how Janelle was left with nothing but an RV and a dream while Kody and Robyn sat in a $1 million mansion. Coming up, did David actually buy out Kody's debt? We look at the gift theory that has the internet on fire. The theory gaining traction is one of poetic justice. If Kody was unable to pay off the remaining notes on the parcels, which records show were dangerously close to default, someone had to step in. By purchasing Kody's portion or paying off the high-interest loans, David Woolley effectively secures Janelle's future. In the world of real estate, this is a chess move. If Janelle holds the deed, Kody loses his leverage. Remember season 18, when Janelle cried saying, "I have nothing. No house, no money." This move by David isn't just about land, it's about restoring the balance of power. Kody in retreat. What happens to a patriarch when he has no land to rule? We've seen the footage. Kody appearing at gun shows, looking haggard. The manosphere ego he's cultivated is built on being the provider. If David Woolley provides for Janelle what Kody couldn't, Kody's relevance in the family narrative evaporates. Social media analysis. Fans on Facebook have noted Kody's absence from major family gatherings. Is he hiding from the embarrassment of his financial eviction? If this gift is finalized, Coyote Pass becomes a symbol of the new Brown family. A place where Christine, Janelle, and their children can gather without the shadow of Kody's rules. This isn't just a reality TV plot point. This is a case study in financial recovery after a lopsided divorce. Janelle's independence is now backed by David's resources, creating a formidable wall that Kody cannot breach. Kody Brown once said he wanted one house. He ended up with one house, shared only with Robyn, while the rest of the world moved on. David Woolley didn't just give Janelle a gift, he gave her the ability to look at those mountains without feeling the weight of Kody's debt. The king of Coyote Pass hasn't just been dethroned, he's been replaced by someone who builds instead of breaks. Is David Woolley the hero Janelle deserved all along? Or is this just another layer of drama in a decade-long saga? One thing is for certain. The dirt on Coyote Pass finally has a foundation, and it doesn't include Kody Brown. Let's deep dive in full details. For years, viewers of the TLC series Sister Wives watched the complicated plural marriage of his wives, and their children unfold on screen. What began as a portrait of a large, unconventional family slowly transformed into a story about separation, independence, and financial disentanglement. And at the center of that story sits a piece of property in Flagstaff, Arizona known as Coyote Pass. In recent months, a rumor began circulating among fans online. The claim was dramatic, that ***** had somehow purchased ***** a share of Coyote Pass that once belonged to Kody. Some social media posts framed it even more dramatically. A $1 million gift. A symbolic victory. And, in the most sensational telling, a moment where Kody lost everything. But what is the truth behind the land, the ownership, and the shifting power dynamics inside the Brown family? To understand why this rumor captured so much attention, we need to go back to the beginning of Coyote Pass. The dream of Coyote Pass. When the Browns left Las Vegas in 2018, they said they were searching for a fresh start. During season 13 of Sister Wives, the family purchased several acres of undeveloped land outside Flagstaff. The property would become known to fans simply as Coyote Pass. At the time, Kody described the move as a long-term vision. "We want one place where the whole family can live," he explained during the show. The idea was ambitious. 4 homes, possibly one large communal structure, and enough land for the entire extended family to remain close. The purchase price for the land was reported to be roughly $820,000, split into several parcels with different ownership structures. But from the beginning, the legal details were complicated. Unlike a traditional marriage with shared property, the Browns' plural family structure meant land titles had to be distributed across multiple combinations of names. Some parcels included Kody and others included Kody and still others involved Janelle. At the time, it seemed manageable. The family was still publicly united. But that unity would not last. Cracks in the family. The turning point came slowly. For years, fans noticed tension between Kody and several of his wives, particularly Christine and Janelle. Arguments about time, affection, and financial priorities became increasingly visible on the show. Then in 2021, Christine made a decision that shocked many viewers. She announced she was leaving Kody. In a public statement shared online, she wrote, "After more than 25 years together, Kody and I have grown apart and I have made the difficult decision to leave." Christine eventually moved to Utah. And with that decision, one major question remained. What would happen to the land? The first major property shift. Christine's departure provided the first real precedent for how Coyote Pass ownership could change. In 2022, it was confirmed that Christine transferred her share of the Coyote Pass property to Kody and Robyn for $1. The move surprised many viewers. But Christine explained the reasoning during interviews connected to the show. Her priority, she said, was keeping the house she owned in Flagstaff free of disputes. In essence, the land became bargaining leverage in a quiet negotiation. Christine kept the proceeds from the sale of her home. Kody and Robyn gained additional control over the land. At the time, some fans saw the deal as practical. Others saw it as symbolic. One chapter of the Brown family had officially closed. Janelle's different situation. But Janelle's circumstances were very different. Unlike Christine, Janelle had already sold her home and placed much of her financial stability into the shared land project. During season 17, Janelle openly discussed her concerns. In one scene that resonated strongly with viewers, she said, "I don't have a house. My money is in the land." She had believed for years that Coyote Pass would eventually become her permanent home. Instead, construction never began. Zoning complications, infrastructure costs, and internal disagreements delayed the project repeatedly. And as the family structure collapsed, the future of the land became even more uncertain. Enter David Woolley. While the Brown family struggled through separation, another storyline was unfolding. Christine began dating again. In 2023, she introduced the world to David Woolley. Unlike the complicated structure of plural marriage, David's relationship with Christine was simple and conventional. Their romance moved quickly, and fans watched as Christine appeared happier and more relaxed than she had been in years. The couple married later that year. David Woolley was not part of the Brown family history. But through Christine, he became indirectly connected to it. And that connection would eventually spark speculation about Coyote Pass. The rumor begins. The rumor appeared first in scattered fan discussions. Some viewers noticed that Janelle remained close to Christine after the family breakup. The two women often traveled together and publicly supported each other. Then came the speculation. What if someone helped Janelle financially? What if someone helped her buy out Kody's share? And because David Woolley had entered the story as Christine's supportive husband, his name began appearing in those theories. On Reddit forums dedicated to sister wives, fans debated the possibility. One user wrote, "Imagine if David bought Janelle the land just to help her get free from Kody." Another replied, "That would be the ultimate plot twist." But there has been no confirmed legal record showing David Woolley purchasing any portion of Coyote Pass on Janelle's behalf. The idea remains speculation. Still, the rumor spread widely. And the reason it resonated so strongly had less to do with facts, and more to do with symbolism. Why the story captured fans' attention. For many longtime viewers, Janelle represented stability within the Brown family. She was often portrayed as practical, financially minded, and independent. When the family finances became complicated, Janelle frequently handled budgeting and logistics. So when she admitted that her money was tied up in the land, fans worried. Social media comments reflected that concern. On Facebook groups dedicated to the show, viewers expressed frustration. One comment read, "Janelle deserves her piece of that land after everything she invested." Another said, "If someone helped her buy it out, good for her." The rumor of David Woolley stepping in functioned almost like a narrative resolution. Not necessarily factual, but emotionally satisfying. Kody's perspective. Throughout the later seasons of Sister Wives, Kody defended his decisions regarding the property. He repeatedly stated that the delays at Coyote Pass were due to logistical challenges. Infrastructure alone, including utilities and road access, would require significant investment before construction could begin. In one episode, Kody explained, "You can't just build houses. There's development costs." But critics, including some members of the family, questioned whether the project had ever been realistic. Janelle, in particular, expressed growing frustration. She wanted progress. Instead, years passed without construction. The legal reality of the land. From a legal standpoint, property ownership in situations like the Browns is determined entirely by recorded deeds. In Arizona, land ownership transfers must be filed with county record offices. Public records determine who owns each parcel. As of the most recent confirmed filings, Coyote Pass parcels remain divided among combinations of Kody, Robyn, and Janelle. Any future sale or transfer would require formal documentation. That means a $1 million gift scenario would leave a clear legal trail. So far, none has surfaced publicly. The emotional meaning behind the rumor. Even if the story itself may not be verified, the reaction to it reveals something deeper about how audiences interpret the Brown family saga. For over a decade, viewers watched a system that relied heavily on shared resources and collective sacrifice. Multiple wives contributed financially, yet legal ownership often rested in fewer hands. When the marriages dissolved, those financial structures suddenly became fragile. Fans began reassessing the past. Who contributed the most? Who benefited the most? And who was left vulnerable? In that context, the rumor about David Woolley symbolized something many viewers wanted to see. Balance, justice, closure, long-term implications for the Brown family. The future of Coyote Pass remains uncertain. Several possibilities exist. The property could eventually be sold, with profits divided among the legal owners. It could be developed, though years of delays suggest that would require major financial investment. Or it could simply remain undeveloped land, a physical reminder of a family vision that never materialized. For Janelle, the stakes remain personal. Her financial future is still connected to how that land is resolved. For Kody, the property represents something else entirely. It was supposed to be the center of a unified plural family. Instead, it became the backdrop for the family's unraveling. The cultural impact of the Brown family story. The rise and transformation of sister wives reflects a broader shift in reality television. When the show premiered in 2010, its goal was to present plural marriage through the daily life of one family. Over time, it evolved into something more complex. A real-time case study of relationships changing under public scrutiny. By the time multiple wives left the marriage, the show had transformed into a story about independence and self-reinvention. Christine rebuilt her life in Utah. Janelle embraced a more nomadic lifestyle for a time, even living in an RV on the land. And Mary, once legally married to Kody, eventually confirmed her own separation. What began as one household became several separate lives. Online reactions continue. Even today, discussions about Coyote Pass dominate fan communities. On YouTube reaction channels, commentators analyze every detail of the property. Some argue the land should be sold immediately. Others believe it still holds symbolic value for the family's history. One Reddit user summarized the mood simply: Coyote Pass is basically the last thread tying everyone together. And perhaps that is why rumors about dramatic buyouts continue to circulate. Because the land still represents unfinished business. A story still unfolding. In reality television, the most compelling stories rarely end cleanly. The Brown family's journey is still evolving. Legal paperwork, financial decisions, and personal relationships will continue shaping what happens next. Whether or not a dramatic, million-dollar gift ever occurs, the central truth remains. Coyote Pass is more than just land. It is the physical symbol of a promise that once held a family together. And the question of who ultimately controls that land may determine how the final chapter of the Brown family's story is written. For now, the rumor of David Woolley buying out Kody's share remains exactly that. A rumor. But the emotional power of the story reveals just how deeply audiences remain invested in what happens next. Because after years of watching the Browns build a life together, viewers are still waiting to see what becomes of the place that was supposed to be their forever home. Coyote Pass. What do you think? Did David go too far, or is this the ultimate act of kindness? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for our next deep dive into the Brown family's hidden court records. Thanks for watching the documentary. We'll see you at the next pass.